one told you on the way in? Absolutely, yes. By hitting the follow button, you agreed.
At Yasi. Twitch TV / Yasi. We just missed it. I didn't get the tape recorder up running fast enough, but just like last episode, I was getting ready to launch my video game live stream show that I do on Twitch. Shameless self-promotion. Twitch.tv / Mr. Zeppo. Variety live stream gaming. Check out the variety of games available on the iPad market. Ranging from family-friendly for all those people struggling to like, what do I let my kid play on my iPad? To the sophisticated and advanced and beautiful art games and the gnarly competition of player versus player, ballerina, battle royale stuff. I was getting ready to launch my show, and as I like to do, I was hopping around, and this DJ comes on and is just rocking it with a brilliant set. Inspired by my last incident of that happening, I typed in and I spent the required bonus widgety things. The moon pie, in this case. Every streamer has their own little mini point reward system that you can use to do little effects and stuff. DJs love to do it because it does like interesting visual graphicsy effects, or they can program it to. I don't know how that works. Ask Twitch. But I highlighted, and I got a screen grab of it. I highlighted, where did I write? Obviously this is what we're listening to.
Honestly, I feel like Sosek counts as 500 people.
She's responding to someone live on Twitch now as I'm recording this for the show.
That picture of Sosek watching my stream is all I needed. Mango sorted for life.
I'm going to drop her volume out for a hot second while she talks to her audience. Although that transition is beautiful. Also, to make sure I'm not overdoing it, right? So, because this is a podcast, but I wrote in her stream live and highlighted. I spent the 400 little points. Actually, for hers, it was only 100 points. I guess people program different things. I haven't gotten that perk a utility on my channel yet because you gotta achieve a certain level of things and check all the boxes first. And my show is relatively new. Haven't achieved the momentum yet, but it's on its way. But I highlighted my question so hopefully that she would see it. Kept my fingers crossed. And I simply wrote, I would love to promote you on my podcast talk show. Not self-promoting, asking permission. And eventually she did see it and said something hilarious, which I wish I could have captured all of it. I think there was just the last few kind of like bits of her saying what she was saying. But she's interesting. And she basically said that following her show, it makes it required of us, her audience, to promote her all over the world. So I was like, sweet, thanks. And then I was, but I was trying to capture the, because she said yes, I could promote her on the podcast, and thus here we are promoting her on the podcast. All her social medias and whatnot are available. She's over on YouTube. She's over on. I just had them up and now I don't anymore. Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm being a terrible host. Oh, that's so trippy looking. She's using her own phone's weirdness as a green screen with her background. So it's like, it looks like you can see right through her phone just because the screen is reflective wildly. Here we go. Instagram.com/Yasi. Twitter.com/ oh, it's that easy. Yasi. That's YASI. A serious, authentic, thumbs up endorsement of this another talented, up and coming live music DJ streamer over on Twitch that also performs professionally on stage, and which you could probably eventually find at clubs or something on tour. She's apparently toured with the DJ musician we featured on the last episode. And I don't know if they're going together to the UK, but I know that Hannah Truly is going to the UK soon. I can't wait to drop in on more of her live streams in the future. Both of these two young ladies are exceptionally talented. And now I'm totally going to be keeping a strong, hardcore lookout for other talented musicians and DJs. Because seriously, folks, I didn't know at all. I had no clue that so many talented musicians, singers, players of interesting instruments live, like real musicians, not just DJs, not minimizing DJs either. DJ Zed is looking at me over there from the corner like, what the hell are you talking about, man? Don't you try to minimize. No, of course not. Just talent everywhere is on Twitch TV. I had no clue. I thought it was exclusively video game streamers, which honestly I thought was almost completely useless until I realized something. I had an epiphany. I was sitting on my steps one morning, like after visiting Twitch TV, because someone had mentioned it to me, right? This is sort of the evolution. Let me see if she's chatting with her folks still, but I'm going to bring up her music, see what it sounds like right now, and keep telling you how the evolution of the story. This is Yasi on Twitch TV, and I have permission to feature her on this podcast. So I was sitting on my steps. I'm not sure what she's done. Oh, she's making weird jokes based on the phone because it's like highly reflective and the screen's doing weird things. But obviously that was way out of context, and I don't know. It was a run by Fruity. A run by Fruity? I don't know. Because she's acting like she's a character or a person being interviewed on a documentary or something. I just want her to listen to her music. I think she just banged herself in the head with her phone. She's having a riot. I'm sitting on my steps, pulling on my boots one morning. Because I wear boots, cowboy boots, literally, most days. Those are my usual house shoes if I'm not in slippers. Judge me all you want. It is the case. And it hit me. It just hit me. Because the internet has redefined our very understanding and relationship to all forms of media, whereas before the internet, media was sort of in intense silos, right? Like really serious segregated tracks. There was music. There were books. There was, live theater was kind of mixed in as part of the arts and culture. But media. This is a media review micro episode, right? It was over there or it was over here, and it was not ever like a hybrid thing all together at once. But now it really truly is. People are really inventing art live on the internet as they film themselves do it in so many different ways and broadcast themselves do it. For example, Yasi here, this talented DJ that I stumbled into today and then got so engrossed by just watching and interacting with that I forgot that I'd sat down to do my own show and totally ignored it for like 45 minutes, just rocking out and dancing in the studio like I did last time. So honest, sincere endorsement there on that. Like if any creator of music can get me up and moving or move me emotionally or make the story I'm watching powerful that I go to a visual, lucid hallucination place, right? Because that's, for example, to cross over streams here real quick, I'm going to do a Dune episode because the new movie is a masterpiece of modern cinema. Put a pin in that, right up on the infinite corkboard of things we will eventually all come back to talk about more on the show. And it looks like she's done talking. Not that I don't want to record her talking. I can't expect. We're not chatting live. She's chatting live, but I'm not chatting live with her during this recording session. I just want to capture a bit of her music. that she's...
Ain't that the truth, Mango? Ain't that the truth?
Mango, with whatever comment, because I'm not reading the chat. I don't know what he said, but apparently he spoke some deep truth. Twitch TV chat is so hard to follow, like I was saying before, because it just flows so quick, especially in these DJ rooms, because there's, hundreds and or thousands of people, depending on the time of day and the momentum of that particular streamer's. My body is fully moving to this. I cannot not move. I'm a former avid raver, which I don't know if I've ever disclosed openly very hard on this show. A reformed raver. A club kid that never really had a club life and didn't really ever go to the club very much. If that makes any sense. I didn't go to Burning Man, but I went to this other... What was it called? It was a week-long thing. Here, in-state, not out-of-state for me. Yasi, with this crazy transition from one track to the other. Beautifully done. Live on her Twitch stream. Go check her out, folks. What was I saying? Oh, right. The thing about video games and Twitch TV that okay, for years, and I mean seriously, I've been on the internet since before AOL. I was on some service that was exclusive to Macintosh machines because Windows hadn't really figured out the internet yet, and Macintosh was like built in with a modem, and there wasn't like, well, I remember when Netscape launched. I remember when AOL launched. I was already on the internet, using the internet on this Apple IIgs, ancient machine. Some people may be like, probably don't even recognize the name, right? And video games existed pretty much from that moment on. I had an Atari 2600, which is not the first Atari, but it's way back then. And like I say on my own Twitch stream TV channel, I'm an old school gamer. I'm just a really new Johnny come lately to the Twitch scene, to this live streaming scene. I describe it like this. I'm a longtime gamer, first time streamer. There we go. That's snappier. And it hit me as the second boot kicked on that like my bias was that I have this nostalgia for the history of video gaming. And before the hyper mainstreamization of conspiracy theory, put a pin in that whole bucket of everything. I don't even want to talk about it right now, but it intersects here, and that now like any and every industry can be hoaxified, right? Any industry of any kind, all science fiction books are works of Satan. You know what I mean? So never mind video games, and they've already gone through their legitimate scrutiny anyways. I think genuinely and authentically, or else I wouldn't be here with my media critique place in my life, that they can be works of art. As I will be sharing with you my deep thoughts and insights as I explore the world of video gaming for the first time, like as a researcher, as a commentator, not researcher, because if you've been a long time listener to the podcast, you know my very unorthodox and not popular opinion on the idea of research, or the word research and how people use it. Here's a fresh new mix going out from @Yasi, who I do legitimately have permission to promote on this show. So there's complex opinions about video gaming, but setting all that aside, setting all conspiracy theory and argument about that aside, I think there's two kinds of people who appreciate video games, amongst many different ways you can dissect the subcategory of people.
The way that the piss has stuck with you this whole time is honestly commendable.
That's crossover live streaming for you. What was I trying to say? Oh, right. So it hit me that there are people who love gaming because of the puzzle-like problem solving that it presents. Every time you pick up a new game, you're learning something, even if that learning something is essentially, according to many parents in the world, a complete and utter waste of time. But there's some artistic value because teams of people work to create this product, and we have a marketplace where that product is valued and sold and traded, right? Okay, so if it's a valid commercial product, then it could, in theory, also qualify as a valid work of art, and I posit that it can, especially when when the visuals that are crafted are exquisite, and whatever form of storytelling is presented is transcendent of just meaningless tropes, right? But I digress. The realization about Twitch and its audience was that there must also be people who want the experience, that want to watch and live the experience of perceiving that kind of work of art, but aren't so much interested in the mechanical, logistical learning curve of learning how to play the game in vis-a-vis whatever apparatus. I myself, as an old school gamer that had an Atari 2600 back in the day, long before most gaming nerds on Twitch were ever even born, who are now making millions of dollars or whatever they're making, right? As the platforms got more sophisticated, my brain and the iterations of them kind of got tighter and tighter. In other words, they came out more faster and faster. My brain was like, it's hard to learn so many new things. Most specifically, controllers. Like, I had a big problem moving from keyboard and mouse to any of the handheld platform controllers. And with my very first one, and this is not a disrespect to that platform, but I really aspired to really enjoying the original Xbox when it first came out. And tragically, I lived with it as a feature in my room, hoping to have friends over, but I never played it very much because I found those controllers so foreign and different and confusing and hard to learn, and none of the games did they do what I thought my brain anticipated them doing. That I didn't do well. I didn't perform well. It's come full circle. The reason I'm doing a gaming on iPad platform feature show is that it's a touchscreen interface is now something that I find really interesting and delightful and intuitive to my hands. I don't know if I have long-term objective hopes to come full circle and maybe check out what gaming is like on the newest iteration of the Xbox, the PlayStation, etc., etc. And of course, a really gnarly PC, because that's where I was good at gaming. After the Apple TGS, I spent a long period of my youth just, not indulgently so, but enjoying video games on the PC, and being good at some, being horrible at others, but being a fan of the marketplace, being a fan of the industry, being a fan of the products. One of my favorite things in the world was to go and shop for video games. Back in the day when they came in a full-size box that would look like a beautiful thing in your library if you were a fancy library. Back when they actually came with beautifully designed and illustrated manuals. Tisk industry for getting rid of those. I know, saves on paper, but why aren't we getting beautiful PDFs with every game that are really well designed and that artists are paid to create, right? Because lots of artistry went into them in all the imagery that wasn't straight up just in-game imagery to give you a sense of the culture and or from a technical side, like the design elements as they went into designing the game, whichever. There was many angles on the gaming manual back in the day when there were actually huge tomes. There were full-sized books in some games, right? And there was all kinds of fun stuff. The maps, you would get an actual cloth, or sometimes it was really luscious pleatherette map of the in-game world that you could hang up on your wall, or a paper poster or something like that. Gorgeous stuff. But the second half of the realization about Twitch was like, those people that love games and that as a entertainment theme or motif or modality. People who love games but don't want to play them because of the difficulty and or whatever. It's okay now to just watch other people play games. It's a valid audience ship.
Wow, that's such a good one too. Set the chaos on fire.
I think they're recommending songs and she's
That's
appreciating
exactly what we've been doing. Thank you, Quote Machine.
And thank you, people. Thank you, at Yasi. So, dear audience, go check her out. She's super talented. Much talented than our own DJ Zed. And that's not coming from me. That's something DJ Zed told me to translate for all you all. Because he's just nowhere near as talented as them, as these artists that we're featuring. But that's the whole point. Why I want to feature them and share them and let you guys know about them. So that you can check them out, support them, and be a part of their audience. Because being an audience, dear friends, to talk philosophically for a hot second, is a powerful thing. Truly. I mean, this kind of music makes you get up and dance, doesn't it? I mean, either you're hating this or you're loving it. One last little tease into what Yassi's doing. Because I do, by form and function and structure of this particular segment of the show, have to hand it over to DJ Zed to play us out.
Oh, I meant that in a good way. I meant that in a good way.
I'm sure you did, at Yasi. I don't know what you're talking about because we're not connected. What I want to do, here's a thing that I don't know if it's possible yet, but I think it can be arranged. I think I can work a workaround. If you've been following along closely, especially with the video game preview-y stuff on the podcast, you know that I've had a serious, or if you've gone over to my Twitch channel, I even had a meltdown one day and live streamed about this issue. Feature request, dear Twitch TV, for your iPad app. Two things. Let me have a little invisible to the audience but usable for me overlay button that opens a tiny, simple little overlay panel where I can control all of the audio sources and their volumes that are being sent from the iPad to my desktop on my iMac. Because I want to be able to control the microphone. I want to be able to control the source of the game audio so I can take the whole game out if I need to. Those are the only two I can think of. But I want all of that to be able to go with the video into Streamlabs. Because it should work, but it doesn't quite for some reason. And I don't know if this is an iPad thing, that's something you guys can't fix or work around. I am wondering if I had a audio jack to audio jack, or audio jack to Lightning, or audio jack to whatever the other one's called, the USB, if I could dump all the audio that way. But I know that you guys could probably pull it through your Twitch app all at once. If you can activate my microphone, and I guess this also piles into with the why you can't on the iPad Twitch app include the forward-facing camera. I don't know if you guys are working to solve this or not, but feature request, please let me use. You do for the just chatting, but let me use a little simple frameless overlay that I can wiggle around and that just is part of the live stream. That's built into the Twitch app and sits over the game, maybe attached to the volume control button panel-y bit that I'm talking about, where I can dock it on either side, and then there's just a little webcam rectangle that pops out at it, and I can just either position it on top or on bottom, or anchor the whole panel on either left or right. If that could be one feature, all integrated, those 3 control points, that'd be brilliant. Because if I could dump all of that into OBS, that'd be phenomenal. It would look better than if I used OBS on my desktop, and it'd be a great flexibility thing. Or if I could do that all if your Twitch app could connect to OBS, your live stream studio's OBS. But if I could also just do it from, as I have been, just from the iPad app, it would be brilliant too. completely different from the like other idea that just hit, which is something I want to do for my video game show, which is why I've been asking these DJs for permission to be featured and promoted on my podcast. And that's this. I want to be playing a game either on an external source or a desktop source or an Xbox or a PlayStation, whatever it is, and using OBS, use either my desktop webcam or another. Like, for example, I would love to patch my phone in and use that camera, the forward-facing camera, the nicest camera, to be my webcam, quote unquote. But that doesn't work right now on the software package. But I can just use Twitch directly on my phone, which is I'm going to be doing soon. But I would love to be playing the game, being able to use OBS to set, transition between scenes, and have the webcam of the DJ stream that I want to feature on that particular broadcast as the background music. And since it's already on Twitch because it's someone else's Twitch stream, it's like they're playing the game with me, but what they're actually doing is twitching. But they know that we're playing the game. Or maybe they are also playing the game, but they're DJing. I don't know. I'm not trying to get rid of DJ Zed by any means, right? DJ Zed, don't be all weird. Speaking of, here is Jazz Hop Groove Pad Perfect Take Live to Tape Robot Dance Fundamentals from the DJ Zed fictional album, Dance with This Robot Now. That's not the name of the album. What's the name of the album? Don't hand me ridiculously fake. You're just messing with me, DJ Zed. From his album, Transdimensional Robot Dance. That's horrible. But we'll run with it. Working title. I don't know if my idea just made sense. I would love to contact DJs on Twitch and musicians. Well, I not work with regular musicians, but like DJs that are spinning and mixing and doing, producing EDM dance club style music, and have them, and so that my audience can see their face too, and check them out as they do their work and dance around to it, as a little tiny overlay that I could, use in OBS, and like, for example, if I'm playing with a bunch of other friends on a game, and there are all those players showing up as a webcam as we play the game, the DJ is like at the top of the list, DJing a set exclusively for that episode. Hopes and dreams, friends. One day. I'll stop talking over your work, DJ Zed. Enjoy this. And support the podcast, the live stream, the Pulp Fiction, and all the other online projects I'm struggling to get funded by visiting solo.to/Mr. Zeppo. Checking them out and sharing your support. As always, folks, thanks for tuning in. And remember, be good ambulatory meat sacks of blood and bone. And treat each other with kindness. Until next time, this has been your humble host, the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo.